Hey everyone! This was one of the most requested topics for me to discuss. So this is, I guess, my first attempt of these fun discussion live videos. Today I'm discussing attachment parenting and gentle parenting. I'm kind of meshing it together in one. If you guys get on and have any questions or comments or whatever, please join me. Hey Kara, please join me and talk and whatever. So basically, when I got pregnant with my oldest. Exactly, right? There needs to be more of us out there. When I got pregnant with my oldest, Ezra, I started looking into more parenting styles and things like that. And I have always kind of been like a more gentle, hey Jennifer, a more gentle nurturer type of person, really empathetic and things like that. So the more I looked into it, it just really lined up with who I was. I really feel... Hi Rachel. I really feel, now my oldest is joining me, so hopefully I can keep going. Oh, you're gonna have your muffin. Okay. Hey Autumn. It just really lined up with my personality. And so it was just natural for me. Hey Caitlin. Everyone joining, hi. Anyways, so it came to me naturally. And I just really felt like we need to respect our children. And I'm not here to judge anyone's parenting, but I just feel like we need to respect our children. Hey Priscilla, I feel like we need to respect our children, and we shouldn't treat them differently than we would anyone else just because they're ours, I guess, right? And a child. I'm actually going to go over that in just a second. I'm going to go over the 7 B's of attachment parenting. So we can go into that now. Hey, yes, exactly. You need to give respect to gain. Exactly. Okay, so let's just jump into the 7 B's and then we can go from there because I'm just going to keep getting distracted. Okay, so the first one is birth bonding. I personally chose natural birth after researching and looking into it, but it's really important to just establish a bond. And for me personally, I felt by doing it unmedicated and having a child that has no drowsiness, they're really alert and things like that, it really helps. And hi Corey. There's things, if you look into it, it can hinder breastfeeding and things like that. So I didn't want anything to stop, my journey of breastfeeding with my children. So I chose to do unmedicated personally, and I did skin to skin immediately after birth, and we had that strong bond. The uninterrupted, I think, first hour is what they call it. So establishing a bond after birth is really important for your breastfeeding relationship and just for your relationship in general. They spent, 9-10 months in your womb, and then they're, here in this real world, which is, bright and cold and just loud and all these things that are so unfamiliar. So being close to mom is so important. So the first B of attachment parenting is birth bonding. And I just want to say, if you don't have one of these areas, if something doesn't work out, it doesn't mean you can't do it. This is kind of just the general consensus of what attachment parenting is. But we can all customize it based on our own lives and our own journeys, because not all of us get the birth or any of this that I'm going to go into that we originally planned. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, try again, Kara. I hate when people don't have the births they imagined. Mine weren't perfect either, but I am really thankful that I got to, do it unmedicated and vaginally for both. But they weren't, unfortunately, they weren't the perfect, birth that I had envisioned. But the good thing is that they're here and safe, and I really hope that your next one goes better. Okay, so the first B was birth bonding. The second B is breastfeeding. Breastfeeding gives you an incredible bond with your children, and it really helps you kind of become one in a sense. I personally couldn't breastfeed my first past 3 months. We had a really terrible breastfeeding journey, which I can go on another live about breastfeeding later on. So if you can't breastfeed, that doesn't mean you can't do this style of parenting, but it just helps because, you know, with my youngest Josiah, if he falls and he's really upset, I just pop him on the boob, man, and it's awesome, and he's happy and he feels connected again. So it's like an instant connection. So it's incredible. It's really it's awesome. I love breastfeeding. So breastfeeding is the second B. That is awesome. Awesome, Jennifer. Breastfeeding rocks, and you guys are awesome that endure and do it. But no judgment to those who can't, because, you know, my first was formula fed. So I understand the struggle, and my heart goes out to anyone who's tried breastfeeding and it just didn't work out. I get it. I was like mourning it for a long time, but we will talk about that in another live. So let's continue. The third B is baby wearing. Where my baby wears at? I love baby wearing. My youngest is always in his Tula. When he was little, we had wovens and ring slings and things like that. But baby wearing is such a thing that can help your connection as well. You know, when you're out and about and baby's nervous or whatever, you just throw them on your back or your chest or whatever, and they feel close, they feel safe. You know, think of like koala bears and things like that, like monkeys, you know, all of them like hold their young. And so baby wearing is incredible, and it can really help your bond with your children when they're young. And I love it, you know, when you're out in public, because I have not tried a Kinderpack, but I keep hearing about it. We have Ergo, Tula, wovens, ring slings, and things like that. But I have not tried a Kinderpack, but I hear they're awesome, just like the Lily Baby. I haven't tried either. But anyways, I love baby wearing also in public because people don't touch your kids as much. I guess they just think, oh, you know, they're close to you, so they don't want to intrude your personal zone, you know, and your comfort, your little bubble. But, you know, when you're not wearing your kids, like, people just have no respect for boundaries. They just touch your, you know, I can't stand it. So I wear my kids all the time, and it's just easy, you know, even at home, if I'm cooking, whatever, like and nursing, right? Nursing in public is so much easier. In the Tula, like, just put them on and we're good. So baby wearing is incredible. So if you don't do it, I really recommend you try, like, survive. Like, this is how I survived, you know, 2 under 2. So that's the third one. So number 4B is bed sharing or co-sleeping. You know, again, you don't have to do this. This is not a judgment for anyone's, you know, parenting style. I personally bed share. I still bed share with both my children. Sometimes I put my youngest in the crib, like right next to the bed, if I want a little more room and like to lay on my stomach and not have to worry about him falling off the bed. He'll go in the crib sometimes. But that's also an incredible bond, you know, keeping your children safe. In our country, it's like so frowned upon to co-sleep or bed share, which is crazy because in other countries, it's like the family bed is like the norm, and we're the weird ones with these cribs. And so we have it so backwards, you know, all the judgment is placed on all of these parents who do it an alternative parenting style. But we're actually kind of weird in this country if you look at like the entire world. So it kind of just reaffirms that connection and that bond at night. It's scary being in the dark by yourself. And, you know, as a grown adult, I don't like sleeping by myself. I mean, sometimes it's nice because I'm always, you know, around my husband and my kids, like on me in bed. So yeah, I'd like to like sleep alone for a few hours. But in general, like, I like being close to people, that warmth, that comfort, knowing someone's there. And it's the same with a child, especially a baby. I mean, they just came in this big scary world, you know, they don't know anything, and then all of a sudden they're put, you know, by themselves. Like, they're scared, right? So we're huge on like bed sharing and co-sleeping. You know, so that's the fourth one. So number 5 is belief in value of crying and valuing a child's communication. So I believe in responding to cries, and the kind of the general idea of attachment parenting, gentle parenting, is responding to your children's needs and you know, and their wants and things like that. So we don't believe that crying is manipulation and things like that. We believe that they're trying to communicate something. And touch is a need, people. Okay, I don't understand why people don't get that, and they think, oh, you know, he just wants to be held or she just wants to be held. Like, let her cry. Like, that is a need for them. Just like when we're adults, we don't want to be lonely. And it's like, imagine you as a stay-at-home mom, right? And your husband comes home. You need that attention. Like, you crave to have a conversation with an adult. So that is a need. Touch is a need, comfort and feeling that. So I don't believe that babies manipulate you by crying, and the general idea of attachment parenting, gentle parenting, is responding to cries and valuing them, and not thinking tantrums and things like that. Like, getting past the use of crying and getting past the like vehicle of communication, and looking at the root of like, why are they acting like this? Like, what is really going on? If your toddler is screaming and crying, like, what is going on? Like, look into it, and don't just say, oh, they're having a tantrum, and kind of push them to the corner, but really see what's going on. Are they overstimulated? Are they, confused? Is something going on deeper? Is there been a change? Whatever it is, but it's basically about valuing their way of communication, which is normally crying when they're young, and looking into that and kind of addressing the need, and not just kind of discounting them just because they're, crying and you find it annoying, right? So that's the fifth B. The sixth B is beware of baby trainers. So like the people who cry it out, things like that. Again, no judgment, do what you want with your kids, but we don't cry it out. Again, it's kind of just the belief in responding to your children. Yes, I let my children whine sometimes. Yes, they cry sometimes if I can't respond to them quickly or whatever. And, certain scenarios like where you're in a car and things like that, you can't always respond. But I don't let my kids just cry just for the heck of it, just because I don't want to respond. Yes, sometimes things get overwhelming and you need a break as a mother, and I get that. And again, no judgment. So if you need a mommy timeout, go take a mommy timeout. Your kid will survive. But doing it constantly and like to the point of children throwing up and like all these things I see in baby books that make me cringe, like for me, it's not okay for my family personally. So beware of the baby training, like blanket training, things like that. All that kind of stuff, it doesn't really line up with the idea of gentle parenting, attachment parenting. Okay, so the last B, and again, if you have any questions, comment below. The last B is balance, right? Constantly responding to your children is a lot. They're really needy, especially if you have multiple kids. So it's okay to find balance. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to, ask for help. It's okay, like, we're not perfect. And again, I'm not claiming to be, mother of the year and like this perfect mother, and I'm always gentle, and like, I have my moments. I get frustrated and I'm like, freak out or whatever. I have my moments. But my belief is you always reset with your child and you always reconnect. So if I have a moment, let's say with Ezra, which, I struggle with because he's very headstrong, he's very strong-willed. He will not let things go. Like if he wants something, and he's going to be an incredible leader one day, but it takes a lot for me not to crush that, leader spirit in him. And so I have my moments where I might not feel good, or I don't want to respond to him, or I'm sick of his tantrums or whatever, and like I have my moment and I might not act the right way, but I always make sure I go back to him and I apologize and I reconnect with him and I tell him, mommy messed up. I'm sorry for raising my voice. I'm sorry for ignoring you. I'm sorry, whatever. But I believe you should reconnect with your children just like you would do with a friend, a family member, or your husband. If you have an argument with your husband, you're going to reconnect with them. I mean, unless you're not, I don't think that's healthy not to, talk things out and reconnect. But so that's my belief. I'm not claiming to be perfect. It's a balance. It's hard being a mom, especially if you're a stay-at-home mom, you're here all day, and it's just like constant, and you're constantly needed, and it's a lot. So you're going to mess up, and it's okay, but I believe in reconnecting and reestablishing like constantly that relationship, and that, we're human and we need to talk about our emotions and address them, especially, with boys. I watched an incredible documentary that I posted, I think a few days ago or a week ago, talking about The Mask We Live In, I think it was called. It was on Netflix. And it's so sad what we've done to boys and men now. You know, we've taught them that they can't be emotional. We've put them in a box of what we believe a man is. And all of these people that don't fit perfectly in the box are outcast in their community, and it's like a dog-eat-dog world in the man community. So if you're sensitive, or if you have desires that are not, you know, manly, you're like ostracized, you know, and I don't know. So it's really sad. So I'm like really sensitive to that because I have 2 boys, and I really fight really hard. Like, I fight really hard to get past that stigma. And I really want my boys to be in tune with their emotions, because I want them to be wonderful fathers and wonderful husbands. And I think it's important to, you know, be in line with your emotions and the emotions that God gave you. You know, God gave us all these emotions. Like, it's not just women, and men need to learn how to cope with those emotions. And so from a young age, if you're teaching them, hey, you know, you're feeling this way, like, let's talk about it. Let's, you know, address it. Let's not just, yes, you can have a tantrum, but let's figure out what's going on. Like, what is the root of it? And teaching them from a young age about their emotions is really important, and you're going to empower them, because if you don't, they're just going to express it in the wrong way. You know, and in the man-boy community, most of them watch, you know, media, the TV and media and video games and things like that, and the only emotion that is portrayed in most of those are anger. And that's why we have such angry men, because they haven't been taught how to express their emotion properly, and the only one that they've been taught about is anger. So it's just sad. So I'm a huge advocate for attachment parenting, gentle parenting. That's my spiel. I'll get off because I don't see any questions or anything. But yeah, I love it. I'll just leave you with kind of 3 things before I hop off. Oh, my battery. Okay, we're good. I thought my phone was going to die. Attachment parenting is basically responsive parenting. We really believe in responding to our children. It's not about having a strict set of rules. Yeah. I think we just kind of like put names on everything these days. But yeah, I know a few older moms that did attachment parenting, and you can tell in their children for sure. They're just very different. Corey, it's the masks we wear. I'll look it up just to be sure, and I'll put it in the comments. But I posted about it a few days ago with a really sad statistic. Or I'll tag you in the post maybe. I'll comment because I'm sure other people will be curious after this. Okay, so it's not about strict set of rules. It's about kind of going with the flow of things and respond to each child differently and what they need. So it's basically addressing, you know, your children's needs and not following like an ABC kind of thing. It's what works best for your children and for you. No problem, Corey. And then it's about your approach. You know, how you approach your child. So it's basically all about like communication and, you know, addressing things, and, you know, we approach our children gently instead of like chastising them for, you know, being upset or whatever. We go to them gently to their level, get on your knees or, you know, to eye level and talk to them and connect with them while you're talking, and not like talk down to them or talk at them. Connect with them. Okay, so I'm done now. I'm going to hop off. Have a great rest of your week. A happy Friday for all of you guys that work. I'm so excited for my husband to get home and us to have a weekend together. And I hope you guys liked my first, you know, discussion live. I'm going to start doing these every now and then. If you have any topics that you want to talk about, just comment below. I'm really passionate about, like, you know, whole foods, real health, gut health, baby wearing cloth diapers, co-sleeping, attached, you know, all those things, breastfeeding, natural birth, non-vax, on and on and on, holistic care. So if you want me to talk about anything, if you're interested in anything, just comment below, and I'll use that for a topic in the future. So I'm really excited about these. This was really fun, and sorry, I'm saying a lot. I'm just losing my train of thought, but I'll do the next one really soon. Just let me know what you want to talk about. Okay? Have a great rest of your week. Bye, guys.